want me to come there with a preconceived notion of something that you're already wrong or the other guy's already wrong. You got to come and look at it neutral, right? And that's how you want to look at every case, because every case, every call is different. It's different. It's individual. And you shouldn't have a preconceived notion on any of those things.
Right. That's the trick. How do we take sometimes the human factor out of it, right?
It's
or
tough.
Your past history out of the situation. I mean, and it's not even you, some guys. I mean, people above you guys got to come out and make more systematic changes. You know.
Well, I can tell you how important the state police take this.
Right.
There's 6 people in the state police that outrank me. We have 6,000 people. We felt it was important enough to have a lieutenant colonel out here on the ground.
Oh, that's what you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I work in Albany Monday through Friday. You know,
Okay.
I live out this way, but I work in Albany. You know, and it was important enough for us to make sure we have representation out here to show, you know, we care about these communities.
Right.
We want these communities to be safe. You know, we believe in these peaceful protests. The stuff that happens beyond a peaceful protest can't be tolerated. And if it stays like this, you stay out here all day.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I agree, because you're testifying for like the tension of it, and I wish that we could be really making steps that would make statements that we don't want that tension as police, right? And we would want that everyone understands that we care about everyone, because I think that's what's happening here is like a statement.
Who speaks for? I mean, it's great having this conversation with you, but in like a protest like this, like, is there someone that speaks for Rochester PD that come out and just say, "Hey, we hear you. We're looking at making changes." You know, just no one comes out to make a statement or anything.
Where it's tough to do that in a situation like this, as you can see what happened down here last Saturday night. We put people out there to give a speech like that, and it goes bad. We got our guys in a bad position. So it's hard when those other things are taking place. Something like this, somebody could come and talk, but in a moment's notice here, you could take a few agitators that could make this go bad.
Definitely.
And it makes our job tough, and it makes your job tough, because you're out here trying to peacefully protest and get your voice heard. And now this small group of people changes it for everybody. The majority of them, been peaceful. You know, they really have. It's been the small groups that are turning and changing into something else. It's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be out here so you can be heard, your voice can be heard.
And I appreciate you standing here, because I mean, there's no one else, like you're saying, who can we talk to. I appreciate that you're standing here is the point of what I was trying to say.
There has to be dialogue, and if we don't hear each other, then nothing really changes. It's just whether or not we take the dialogue and take the next step after it, right? Like, you know, it's easy to be heated in a moment, and then, you know, COVID pandemic passes, everybody's back to normal, and then all this stuff is, then 3 years later, we're, you know, like with Eric Garner and stuff, you know, we're back again trying to revisit these things. How do we get there to be some stickiness and really look at how are we getting to these places in the first place, right? And I think that's the piece I see lacking in a lot of the stuff is just the dialogue piece or statements from those who have the influence to change things, to say, you know, hey, that sucks, that's not who we want to be, these are the things we're doing, you know, and then give a regular check-in that say, you know, been 3 months since the thing, these are the changes we've made. You know, if we can just kind of see something like that, you know, speaking as myself, you know, it just helps to build that.
There's things that take place in this community that the public doesn't always see.
Right.
Like, I've been part of meetings with church leaders and different things throughout the community to try and see where change can happen, how we can get better trust with the community.
Right.
You know, to be honest with you, we can't police these communities without the public's help.
Right.
There's not enough of us.
Right.
You know, we need the help of the public to come forward, help us keep people under control. You know, you see stuff out there long before we see stuff out there. The violence, by the time the violence starts, people in this crowd here would have already seen it. And we need people like you to stop it. Hey, look, that's not what this is about. This is not about the violence. It's not about looting the businesses or burning stuff down. And you're burning down businesses in your own communities that are needed by people in these communities.
You're right.
You know, so we can't do it alone.
But how do we get that other piece? Like, you know, you guys are doing the work. We should get credit for the work that's being done too. How do we get that out? That hey, these are the steps that the state troopers, the Rochester Police Department, we're doing these things that are getting overshadowed. How do we get that out there? So your story's told also, right?
Right. It's true. It's not an easy task.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You know?
Good luck.